Turtles are some of the oldest living creatures that we see today. They have been around for over 200 million years. They saw the birth of snakes and the death of dinosaurs. Over time, they have adapted perfectly to nearly every environment, and now it is more important than ever for humans to be taking care of them. They exist in nearly every terrain, land, sea, and freshwater. They live in both extremes of temperatures and everything in between. Their continuous flourishing has mainly been to their shell and the strong backbones and rib bones that hold up the shell. Despite those major uniformities, they differ greatly in different environments. There are three main classifications. There is the tortoise, which is a land turtle, a sea turtle, and terrapins, which are freshwater. They also go on land, but that's where they primarily live. Tortoises are all of the land turtles. They have dozens of species. The two most commonly known is the box turtle, which is commonly domesticated here in the U.S. They have a unique ability to hinge their shells shut in order to conceal itself from predators. Now, the Galapagos tortoise, interestingly enough, has no natural predators. They need very little defense. Regardless, their shell is over 500 pounds. They have very strong and long legs to keep up the shell. They have a very long legs to get to the shrubbery because they are vegetarian, which might be why they live so long. They commonly get up to about 150 years old, though that's nowhere near how long they can live. Despite having no natural predators, they are endangered mainly due to human interference, to the point where captive breeding is now necessary to keep them going. Sea turtles are very different. They don't have long, strong legs. They have a set of flippers up front, and their back legs are really just used to steer. That's on land and in water. Now that's very interesting. They have to be very, very strong because sea turtles, especially the largest ones, which are the leatherbacks, commonly get over 1,000 pounds. I think the largest was 2,200 pounds, so very strong flippers. They swim thousands of miles a year through underwater currents and all over the world, really. In shallow water, they can even defend themselves from predators. They mainly just breed in tropical waters. Tropical waters are always an ample temperature to mate in. So there really isn't a particular breeding season, though there is a particular nesting season for each one, and they do differ. Because of their nesting season, they are directly in the public view. They nest on beaches, they put their eggs into sand dunes, and according to marine biologist Randall LaRuse, only about 8% of those eggs nowadays even become turtles, and even fewer make it to the ocean. Now, this is because of other nesting mothers maybe crushing some while they're laying theirs, or because of natural predators which pick them off in eggs and while their baby's trying to get to the ocean, and because of careless tourists, and more than anything, poachers. Now, terrapins differ greatly from either of the other two. They do use their back legs, and they have webbed toes on all four of their legs so that they can scour the bottom of rivers and lakes, and even when they go on land. Some even go on land to hunt, which is a very interesting thing for a freshwater turtle to do. While most of the species are relatively small in comparison to their cousins, like the sliders and such, there are very large ones that live in the Sahara and similar places. They eat everything from plants to birds to, early animals like babies. Many use camouflage, even the ferocious ones. An alligator turtle uses camouflage and a built-in lure to hunt, despite the fact that they can definitely handle themselves. Donald Strider of Swarther Reptile Park often displays how his painted sliders will hunt together and even let their alpha go first. It's definitely a community environment. But in all of the species of terrapins, they have been observed sharing food together, bite by bite, without much argument over the food. even humans haven't properly learned how to share with the community. So I guess we could look at terrapins as an inspiration. A fascinating branch of terrapins, the Canadian painted stripes. Actually, they're born in late fall and into early winter, and they survive multiple freezes. Their hearts don't beat, and they don't breathe, and they don't move, but they still survive somehow for the last frost. And that's just another testament to how turtles really are survivors. And despite their resilience, these creatures are in deep danger. Even though they're often viewed as a delicacy to tourists and they are prey to other animals, tourists are the keepers of the past. Many species rely on them. There are cleaner fish who rely on sea turtles. There are the alligators and turtles in the rainforest, which actually nest together and are very docile and have been observed helping each other hunt. They are food for many species, which is, of course, important in the ecosystem. And they are food for humans. And while that may be sad, it is more regularly monitored by governments nowadays. And even more than all of that, they are very important to coastal economies. Over 200 million years of survival and adaptation without ever being the apex predators. It is magnificent. They are older than birds. And in the last 100 years, we have seen such a decline in their population that it is incredible. Now, of course, this is mainly due to a rise in tech and human population. But these ancient beings must be on our list of priorities when we embark on saving this planet's creatures.